here. Let's see here. Got it. All right, perfect. Well, hello and welcome everybody. Excited to be with you tonight on our EMFQ call. I'll be your host tonight, Peyton Parneg, and really exciting call for you guys. Really excited to do two things. First of all, to be with you and to kind of go over this conversation, but two, what we're going to go over tonight is absolutely critical. It's both a technique and it's both a concept. So this is something that you have to learn how to do yourself. And this is also a philosophy. This is an idea that you have to have. And if you can capture that, if you can learn those two things, right? If you can learn how to do what we're going to talk about tonight, and if you can effectively understand the concept behind why we're doing that, so that you have the opportunity to, when you get to a point in your business, as you're growing your Active Greens organization with us here, is that you can get yourself to a point where this concept starts to happen in your world. And this very thing, the very nature of what we're going to go over tonight, the very nature of what we're going to discuss is the number one thing that will create for you the thing that you want out of this business. And the thing that you want out of this business, you might not even yet know that this is what you want out of this business. But what you want out of this business, you might be sitting there today thinking, hey, I want better health, right? Like I want to make a lot of great connections. I want to make great income, right? And I know that that's what you think you want. But I'm here to tell you that what you really want is you want leverage, because leverage is the very, very mechanism that makes everything happen. Okay. Leverage is the very thing that makes it so that a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you're not working again for another paycheck, right? Leverage is the very thing that makes it so that a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you could take time with the people that you love. You could take time with leaders. You could take time to go out of town, or, you could take time to have to do something to contribute to your church, for example, or something that requires time outside of your job or outside of your business. And leverage is the very thing that can keep you getting paid anyway, right? Leverage is the number one thing that makes the difference between the has-beens and the have-nots, right? The made it and then did not make it, right? Like the upper class and the lower class, the middle class, right? And we've talked about it before, but there's a lot of different ways to get leverage. The way that you get leverage in this business is through one thing. And there's a lot of different ideas or a lot of different words that are going to pop out. And that is, some people are going to say, oh, it happens through people, right? And somebody's going to say, hey, it happens through sales, right? And someone's going to say, hey, it happens through exponential growth. And I'm here to tell you that leverage happens by exposures. And so let's talk a little bit about what an exposure is. So an exposure in the business is simply sharing, the concept of Active Greens with somebody, the concept of AAO with somebody, right? That could be sharing the product. That could be having them test, not guess. That could be having them look at, a simple model where they can help 3 people who help 3 people test, not guess, get on the product, and they could now be earning $300 a month, right? Exposures are the name of the game. And why is this so important? Because I used to think, okay, the team that sells the most bags is the team that wins. Then I used to think the team that has a lot of leaders is the team that wins. Then I used to think to myself, well, the team that has a lot of subscriptions, a lot of reorders, that's the team that wins. Then I thought to myself for a while, I said, well, the team that has a lot of reach, so the team that sells in a lot of different countries, like that's the team that wins. And what I finally realized is that the truth is that while all winning teams have a lot of what I just described, there's only one thing that can guarantee that you have a winning team long-term. And what that is it's the total amount of exposures per month that team has. So when we talk about exposures, there's more to it than simply just saying, hey, let's go out there, let's expose a lot of people to Active Greens, let's sample the product, let's test, not guess. It's more specific than that. And so what does it involve? Now, there's something that's really important. I don't know if there's anybody here that's on the call that's ever done P90X before, but if you've ever done P90X, the famous home workout program, and you've gone in your living room and you've done the workouts and you've, press play, right? There's something that the trainer in that program says over and over and over again. And what he says is he says, how do you know what to do if you don't know what you did? And so he talks about how you have to have an accurate log. You have to have, evidence of what's been done. And why is this so important? Because when you look at exposures in your business, you not only need to have people out there sharing, but you have to have people sharing in a way that that even somebody who has no experience in marketing, somebody who has no experience in self-employment, somebody who has no experience with health and nutrition, somebody who has no experience with any of this stuff, you have to know that they're exposing it in a way that if they do it enough times, they will in fact be able to get a result. So what's the result? To attain a customer or to have somebody partner as an influencer. That's it. And so how do you do that? What's the most effective way? Because here's what happened. I don't know if you guys ever remember, but the game of telephone, you used to play when you were a kid, and you'd sit in a big circle and you'd whisper in one person's ear and say, hey, so-and-so did this and blah, 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 blah. And then they would repeat it to the next person. They'd repeat it to the next person, repeat it to the next person, repeat it to the next person. And by the time you get all the way back around the circle, the story was nothing like the story that you told in the first place. Now, I know it's hard to imagine, but if you look at a home-based business, what is a home-based business? A home-based business is a network of independent influencers who are out there promoting. And what are they promoting? Well, if you have a business that is not growing the way that you want it to grow, then it is one of two things. Either, first of all, nobody is promoting, or second of all, and even more scary, everybody's promoting, but everybody's playing the game of telephone. And by the time that message comes all the way back around, you have no idea what people are talking about. People are talking about eating alfalfa from horses, and they're talking about, peeing on test strips, and they're talking about, legs in the business and commissions, all these different things. You're like, this isn't even the same thing that we started talking about. So on the flip side, how do you have a business that can grow rapidly? Well, if you had a business where somebody got a customer one time per year, would that be a fast growing business? Probably not. If you had a business where 100,000 people got one customer per year, would that be a fast growing business? Absolutely. This would be a multiple six-figure business. So the real question is, how do you have 100,000 people gather one new customer per year? Or even better, how do you have 100,000 people gather one new influencer per year? Or better, how do you have 100,000 people gather an influencer per month? And the answer to the question is, when you have a big enough group of people who are all exposing the exact same way, you have people that are putting new prospective customers, prospective influencers through a process that looks exactly the same, then even if the conversion ratio is bad, so even if you have somebody where it takes 50 exposures to get one customer, because the truth is, if you've ever tried something like this, you know that the ratio is actually a lot better. Usually if you talk to 5 people, you might get one customer. If you talk to 10 people, you might get one customer. But what if I do that differently than the way that Kevin does that? And Kevin does it differently than the way that Aaron does it. And Aaron does it differently than the way that Shiloh does it. How do we teach somebody how to actually do it? Whereas if Kevin and Shiloh and Peyton and Aaron all do the exact same thing to show a new influencer, to show a new customer, and what if it takes us 15 invitations to get to that one new customer, that one new influencer? Well, I'll tell you this, the team that uses the same formula to get that one customer out of 15 is the team that will dramatically, impressively, enormously outpace the team that does better in a conversion, but has no process as far as how they actually do that. So what am I getting at? The gateway skill that every single person has to learn is how to invite. And the way to do a great invitation is to have something to point at. It's really difficult to invite somebody to a movie if you've already seen the movie, and the way that you want to invite them to the movie is by telling them every detail of the entire movie. Now imagine this, for those of you that saw the new Top Gun movie, which of course, if you like Top Gun, if you like, fighter jets, is a pretty exciting movie. But imagine if I called you on the phone or I sent you a text. What if I sent you a text that was so long and it was literally bullet points of every single part of the whole movie? And I say, you're going to love the part in the end of the movie when they have to fly this course and they have to do this backhanded inverted roll under enemy fire and all this. And you're going to be like, dude, what is this thing. But if I just simply sent you the teaser to the movie and said, hey, we're going at 7, we're going to see this new movie. This is the clip. The teaser looks awesome. Watch it. Are you coming? There's 2 things that happen. First of all, you can watch. You're not saying, dude, you're an idiot for texting me the whole story of the movie, because anybody that I know, if you spoil the entire movie in a text, they're not going to be excited about it. Right. And then second of all, it's like they can look at the teaser, they can watch it, they can get excited about it, and then they can confirm with you, say, hey, yes, we'll go tonight at 7 o'clock, or no, but I want to see it, but tonight at 7 is not good. Right. Now, which one is going to get more people to the theaters? Is Paramount going to simply show the movie to 200 people and then say, okay, go tell everybody about it? Or is Paramount going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to create a teaser, or 2 or 3, right? Have you ever gone on YouTube and seen the first teaser or the second teaser or the third teaser, the extended teaser, the reworked teaser? Of course, because why would, I mean, think about it for a minute. What if they brought 2,000 people to a main event? How big would the event be? Maybe it would cost them $500,000. How much do they pay their editors to literally build teasers and do soundtracks and to work the whole thing? Like, it's probably the same amount of money, but there's a reason for this, because they know that the message is more important than the messenger. If the message makes sense, then the messengers will come in masses. In fact, how many people saw the movie on opening week? Usually it's like a big pop, right? But the massive amount of revenue for the box office is in week 2 and in week 3 and week 4 and week 5 and week 6 and week 7 and week 8. And when you have a movie that is on the charts for more than just opening weekend, that's when a movie does really incredible. Now, the more people that see the movie, does it mean that more people are now telling people the entire story of the movie? No, there's just more people that are saying, hey, the movie was great. Watch the teaser, go see the movie. Now, let's bring this all home. We've been working on building a teaser, a 2.5-minute video in Spanish and a 2.5-minute video in English, so that each and every single person can have that teaser to the main event. What's the main event? The main event at Active Greens can be anything that you want it to be. It can be improved quality of health. It can be improved quality of community. It can be leverage. It can be income, right? Supplemental income. It can be massive income if you help and teach enough people how to share the trailer, right? But we can't do it without a trailer. And so what we're super, super excited about, and the reason that we're here tonight, is that in the coming weeks, we're going to have a trailer that is going to be something so simple that literally anybody can share it. Anybody can watch it. And my belief is that within 2 to 3 minutes, anybody who's anywhere near 12 o'clock. Now let's talk about what being near 12 o'clock is. It's my belief that people get to 12 o'clock a couple of times in their life. Sometimes it's a couple of times in a year. Sometimes it's a couple of times in a decade. But what does 12 o'clock mean? 12 o'clock means that they are in a place in their life where they want change. They're in a place in their life where they're open to look for it. And they're in a place in their life where they're willing to do something about it. And when you become masterful at inviting, the goal is not to sell somebody. The goal is not to convince somebody that they need, the product. The goal is certainly not to convince somebody that they need the business. The goal is simply to have a message that is so good that the trailer can, when it's shared with tens of thousands of people and hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people, the trailer itself will naturally be compelling to all of those folks that are at 12 o'clock. And then all that the job is then is for the people that are at 12 o'clock to come and see the whole package of it and then decide where they want to fit in, right? Come to the movie. Some people went and saw the Top Gun movie and they decided to become fighter pilots. And some people went to the Top Gun movie and they watched it 5 times. And some people went to the Top Gun movie and they fell asleep in the middle of the movie, right? That's going to happen here. You're going to have people that are at 12 o'clock and they're going to come and they're going to see Active Greens. They're going to see the plan. They're going to see the program. And they're going to, some people are going to participate. Some people are going to buy products. Some people are going to become fighter pilots and go and become millionaires, right? It's not our job to decide who is who. It's our job to first and foremost be the one, by becoming masterful at inviting, becoming masterful at helping people to see the trailer and to teach them to do the same thing. And now to think about it like this. I'm going to leave you with this. Kevin's going to talk a little bit more about the nuances of inviting because he's a master of dealing with people. Kevin is so incredible because He always tests, not guess. If he wants to figure out if something works on how to invite people, he's going to go invite 15, 20 people, and then he's going to call me and tell me exactly what happened. Then he's going to change it, and he's going to try it on the next 15 or 20 people, and then he's going to come back and change it, right? So when we hear from Kevin, this is not somebody that, is making up some idea of what's going to work with people. He's coming from the perspective and from the position that he's like, okay, I tried this on 16 new people this week, and this is what happened. I noticed that 6 of them did this, 7 of them didn't watch it, and 3 of them signed up without even looking at it. I'm going to try it this way next week, and then it's either going to be better, or if it's not, I'm going to go back to this way, and we're going to know that this is what that actually is. So he's going to talk a little bit more about the actual nuances of how to invite to the video, because we have the drafts of these videos going now. And this is what you have to remember. If you become masterful, and let's say that you do 1 invitation per day, okay? 1 invitation per day. And let's say that 1 out of every 10 people that you invite winds up doing anything. They purchase product or they become an influencer. That feels, and remember, the first time that you sell, a package, you're going to make something like $30 or something like that. So let's say that you're figuring out, starting conversations, making invitations 1 per day, 1 per day, 1 per day. At the end of your first 30 days, you have not even earned $100. How on earth is that a $1 million business plan? 1 a day is doable for everybody, just like Jordan's saying, which is absolutely true. But how is that a $1 million business plan? Well, what happens when you have 1 partner in your business that says, if you do 1, I do 1? Great. Now, month 2, the business has 60 exposures. You're still doing 1 a day. Now, let's say that 2 more people get excited about the same idea. Now you have 4. That's a 120 exposure business. Now you're starting to make more progress. That's a business now that can start to gather 5, 10, 15 customers. Not going to make you a fortune, but certainly going to start to create profit. Well, if that just multiplies every single month, what happens on month 4 or month 5 when you have 100 people who are willing to make 1 exposure a day? Now we're talking about 3,000 exposures a month. People buy billboards for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because they believe that if enough people see a certain message, that it will help the revenue of their brand. What if we could control it so much better that you have not only a billboard, but you have literally people that are in your organization that you are leveraging, who are out there and they're sharing the business 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per day, because not only is this a great concept, not only is it great timing, not only are economic winds blowing on us all, but they want something to happen for them in their life. It's not just about me wanting somebody to purchase product. It's like they want something to happen in their world. They want to make an extra $1,000 a month so that they can buy a new truck, or they want to make an extra $1,000 a month so that they don't have to rely on Social Security. They want to make an extra $1,000 a month so that they can take their mom, and dad on a trip to Hawaii for the first time in 25 years because they never took a wedding, honeymoon, right? Like there's so many reasons why people want to bring home an extra $300 a month, an extra $1,000 a month, an extra couple $1,000 a month. And when we realize that if we teach it in a way, first and foremost, by using simple invitations like Kevin's going to talk about, we lock into something that everybody can do. One invitation a day, 2 invitations a day, 3 invitations a day, 1 invitation a day. And we continue to help more and more people do the same thing. By the time we have a team of 1,000 people who are willing to do 1 exposure a day, we as a company, we as a team now have a business that is making 30,000 impressions a month, or over 300,000 impressions a year. And with only a 10% success rate, that's a business right there that can transcend into millions and millions and millions of dollars a week and set every single person that's watching this free once and for all. So with that, Kevin, I'm gonna hand it to you. Let's talk a little bit about the actual nuts and bolts of inviting people to look at information versus selling them on the program. And thanks, dude.
Oh, so good. That is such truth. Peyton resonates such truth on that. It is the skill to develop. I remember when I got into this type of business in the very beginning of my career, and I thought, here I had somebody that was more successful than me, that was willing to share a message with whomever I could bring to them, and they would answer any questions. I thought, wow, why would you do this for me? And he says, well, everybody that you're bringing counts as if I signed them up myself. I get paid on it too. I was like, so you're earning it? He says, well, yeah. And I got excited about that. And so I said, can we do a meeting right now? And I just kept doing that until I got the result. Because to me, it was like, if you take all the noise and all the distractions, What makes this business go is exposing the product or the idea or the message to new people. And for some people, it's 5 non-negotiables. For some people, it's product. For some people, it's the business. For some people, it's the code. Everybody has a different thing. And there's all these different messages, but the message is really simple. It's about testing, not guessing, and maybe saving a life. It's about helping someone beat inflation and having a little bit more money at the end of the month. It's about getting more of your time back. You know, there's a statistic that the average person makes between $12 and $25 an hour in the United States. That's somewhere between $100 and $200 a day. That's 4 to 8 customers. That's a few exposures. You could get a day back every few customers you get. But if you don't ever talk to anybody about it, you don't share it with them, then it does no good in that sense. So what are some of the ways we can invite? Well, one thing that always helps me, because I'm really shy. I'm shy by nature. You would never think that about me, but hey, we can learn things like that aren't. I got so red-faced and tight in my chest when people used to talk to me, I didn't know what to say. And then it started to hit me like, there was a quote that said, the person that asks the questions controls the conversation. And so if I ask questions, it's like that other quote that says the quality of the questions you ask other people determines the quality of that relationship. The quality of the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of your life. So it was like, okay, again, it comes back to questions. What is the question? And it's like, well, what do you want? And it's like, I'm very simply looking for someone to see if they're at 12 o'clock, as Peyton said. I want to know if they're at a place in their life where they want to come on a prolific run with us. That's where I'm coming from. And if not, they should probably take this product every day for the rest of their life if they've got a human body, because they're probably not getting what they need in their nutritional regimen. So if you're not going to do the business, which is my highest and best ask, my next ask is that you be a customer, and I'll give you a coupon code for that. That makes logical sense. It's also less than what's in the store. At the lowest common denominator of this, are we screwing people over? Are we using people? Are we taking advantage of people? I love this question because at the lowest common denominator, somebody might have got in this thinking they could have all their hopes and dreams, and then they quit and give up on their hopes and dreams because they didn't have a durable dream. And as a result, their body got flooded with minerals, oxygen, chlorophyll, alkalinity, and many other things their bodies need, especially a compound of nitric oxide that's far better than anything on the market. And it was half the price of the competition, and they probably used a coupon code. So no, nobody loses in this. The only person that loses is the person that keeps their mouth shut. That's the person that loses. That's the person that worries more about what other people think than potentially saving a life by sharing a product with somebody that might need it. We don't know we have heart-related issues until we have like a heart attack or a myocarditis or something more extreme in our life. So what does it look like? Questions. There's 3 that I've used out of everything that I've tried. There's 3 that I use that I find to be powerful. I know a couple ladies that are hairdressers. They know everybody. They know everybody. And they're always getting approached by things like this, but they never do them because they value their hair clients. I want those women to do this, but I realize that person is probably better suited to refer me to all the people that have ever reached out to her about stuff like this. She's happy to do it. So I reach out to her to ask for a referral. And you know what's wild is when you ask for a referral, they want to help you because you're not approaching them. You're not putting them in that position. You're not even asking their opinion on it. You're asking them to reach out to those people and connect them. They're always happy to do so. And that does not affect the relationship and they don't feel triggered. Now, that's powerful because if any of those people end up wanting to do this, you ask them if they want the money or if you want the money, and then they'll look at it at that point because it became very real. Asking for the referral first is a very powerful way to go about it. The most powerful way that we have found that is helping build the entire model, though, to me, as of right now, is 100% effective. I have not had someone say no. I have not had not an ounce of resistance, not even a 0.5% of resistance. All I've gotten is the answer. So this is what I say. Hey, I send whether it's a direct message on a social media platform, whether it's a text, whether it's an email or a phone call or a voice memo, it doesn't matter the means of communication. The moment I think of someone or I see someone on social media that liked something or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, that person. I just immediately go into my thing and I text him, hey, what's your mailing address? I'm going to send you some product samples. I've never had someone not give me their address. And I just shoot it off in the mail, stamp, envelope. I just bought 100 stamps. It was like $60. I still got some stamps, but I've been going through them left and right. People love getting something for free. Travis Martin says to write everyone a handwritten note. That's powerful. It's thoughtful. That's a dying art. People love getting something in the mail. People love the feeling of an Amazon package. People love getting something for free. You're literally sending health and wellness in the mail with a little bit of love. Like, that's so powerful. And I always include test strips so they can test, not guess. And in my handwritten message, this is my sequence. I ask them to text me a picture of their test results. And I wish them well, and I send it off. And every single day I'm like, I want to go to the mailbox as a habit and send out sticks, because I get to write the product off on my taxes. So I want to give it away. Each stick is a worker for me potentially making money. If I want to expose you to something, I want to expose you to the paradigm that green juice that's incredibly healthy for you is not disgusting. And then on top of it too, I want to expose you to the idea that you should test, not guess. And if anybody you care about that's anything heart related should probably use the other strip in this package. And you get all that for free. I don't post on Facebook, hey, who wants a product sample? No, I go individually. It's make them special, make them feel special, write them a note. That has worked 100% of the time. And then I get a text with some test results. And that's powerful, because I get this text of excitement, like, whoa, and now their awareness to nitric oxide is there. They want to share it with somebody else, and organically it's being shared. That website should be programmed this week, and I think we'll be up and running with all of that this week. And so sending someone a bunch of product, like, make a list, reach out to them, get the mailing addresses, put them in the stamps, envelopes, all that stuff, shoot them out, get the test results back, get excited, when they send me the test results, I send them the video that's like too many supplements, or the active one. I send them one of the little product things, and I was like, hey, if you're interested as a customer, I have a 25% off coupon code. If you want to take a look at the business side behind it, check this out. And I send them to that website to check out the video. That's the duplication model I'm using, because it's phenomenally simple and I don't even have to open my mouth. And yet I do, because that is the result. I go out in public and I see someone that probably needs the product, and I go talk to them. I have bottled water in my car. This is my third most effective. I love this one because, again, you're giving someone something for free. Back in the day, Red Bull got big because they would pay young, pretty girls to show up to places where there were a lot of people with their cool car with a Red Bull can on it, and they would give out a bunch of Red Bulls for free. Monster started to copy them, and they would go to events and give out energy drinks, get everybody all caffeinated, and then the next time somebody wanted an energy drink, they would think of Monster, and that was or Red Bull, and that was the idea. So I feel like a Red Bull girl, but I'm a boy, and it's green juice, and it's really good for you. And I know that each person that I gave that to, it's like giving them a multivitamin, giving them nitric oxide, giving them an awareness of that for their heart health. You're spreading a message that could potentially save a life. You're attuning someone's awareness to something that could benefit them. But it always scares the absolute crap out of me to approach a total stranger. And right before I inhale, and I think the same thought every time. I say, remember, action overrides emotion, Kevin. And then I say, and remember, the person that asks the questions controls the conversation. Just use the questions to shine the light on them. Give them something for free. Try to raise their energy, make their day. And at best, that person's body was a little better today. And at best, maybe they were at 12 o'clock and it aligned in such a way that this hit. And so in the future, as this website is created, I will simplify the process to having a business card with a QR code and a question that's like, you want to make $300 from your phone helping people, let me show you how, or something like that. And then it'll have text for a 25% off coupon code or a free sample. And then they could text me. And then that's kind of the idea there. And then it's really just a lot of copying and pasting of showing people information, but inviting. You never lose by asking. And if you're giving them something for free, you're the one that has more to offer. Because what if someone is down on their knees praying for an opportunity and they're at the end of their rope, and you're the phone call that changed their stars? And because of that, that person goes out and makes $1 million a month, and you get a 5% match on that person's check in perpetuity because you made the connection at that time. That's the magic here. So you lose nothing by sharing with people, especially once that system and sequence is out. Any of the people that might have joined you in something like this in the past, or were in this at the beginning and like haven't seen the fullness of it, you could walk them through that system. And then another way to expose people to the business is to put them in the Facebook group, We Live Active, because there's the community aspect. There's information about the product. There's information about the business. There's a recognition aspect of people with 300 a month quality of life thing. There's value in there. So if they're part of the value driven community, they're being exposed to that. If they're being exposed to the product, they're being exposed to that. If it's testing, not guessing, it's that. And each person's different. So as you're out there, and you with your arrow and your quiver of arrows and you're doing your thing, it's like there's different ways to go about it. I've applied to 4 farmers markets and I've been rejected. They've either filled up their booths or they don't want a resale product. But I'm looking this summer for an area where I can put a 10 by 10 awning, a folding table, a cooler with a bunch of ice water, or water with bottles of water in ice, and then having my kids sell the juice for $3 or $4 a pop. And what we'll be doing is signing up as customers and using a 25% off coupon on 3 bags, which is the max you can do that, and signing up the other one on 3 bags. So we get it for super cheap, so we can make a retail profit, and the kids will learn the business aspect that way. And then we'll have a bunch of bags there for sale at $60. But if they want to get a subscription, we'll sign them up for a subscription right there and give them 25% off their first order, and they can get it for $50 a month, and then have an iPad there to help them through that, and then have people test, not guess. And that's something that we're going to be doing this spring and summer on a personal level, just to see who, how, what, all of that. So I hope that this video has been a little bit informative on inviting. You can't go wrong if you open your mouth. You just share, because at the end of the day, you potentially could help somebody in every which way, whether it's financial, physical, emotional, spiritual, or it's in the aspect of like their health. So just invite some people, make a quick list of 5 to 10 people you could jog your memory of right now in this moment, if you can. If you know 5 or 10 people, and everybody knows 5 or 10 people, there is that statistic. If you went to elementary school, junior high, or high school in the United States, you know at least 1,000 people. So, and 1,000 people know you. And so there's an aspect of like reaching out to some people to see if it works. And if the process is so simple, I'd challenge you to do it right now, and add some people to the Facebook group too. Thank you so much for being a part of our call tonight. We're going to go ahead and stop recording.